Okay, so welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, if you get here, just give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you can hear me clearly, and then we should get going. Okay. Okay. Remember, we'll be answering questions tonight, and apart from questions, I want us to talk about content creation because when I asked yesterday, what are some of the areas that you need more clarity about and more light on? I thought it was really important to talk about content creation because it's like the fuel, it's like the engine. And Ashaba, good to have you here. It's like the fuel, it's like the engine. And every one of us is actually a brand. We are businesses in our own rights. And so we run multiple things. And so we cannot just run out of content and we cannot just say, you know what, today I will not create anything or I will not do anything. But one of the most prominent questions that I've received on this platform is how do I create content? And what kind of content should I create? And what exactly should I write about? You know, so many people, there's a lot of anxiety, a lot of overwhelm that is actually running through people's bloods and veins when it comes to content creation, okay? Because then our bodies and minds tend to seem like they work certain times and then certain times they do not work. Like they switch off at a certain moment and then you just don't know how to deal with that. Okay. You feel you have a lot to give to the world, but again, it's not coming out the way you want it to come out. And you just get, you go a long period, like 1 week, 2 weeks, there's nothing, you've not said anything, and then all of a sudden it's like the writer's bag. If you're a writer, you know that you get, or if you've been writing for quite some time, you will notice that a time will come and you will write this chapter and it will just not be going, it will be dragging. Do you remember how they say the month of I think not February, the month of January, how like it's a whole year in 1 month? Now that's exactly what happens in the and I call them the drought time, okay? When there's nothing that is happening, you're just not thinking. Faida, good to have you here. Diane, good to have you here, okay? And it's just vermin, drought, nothing is coming to mind, okay? And so you're like, okay, let me just keep off that, and then after that you come back and do some work. So it's like you um periodic, or keep coming and going. But remember, I said when I was starting that content is the fuel, okay? Content is like the lifeline of any business, of any brand, of any personality, okay? And if you have an account and if you want to impact the world, if you want to change the world, there's no way you are going to change the world minus creating content, okay? Because for you, you can say, and Nsima, good to have you here. For you, you can be busy saying, oh, you know what, I will just speak to the people, I'll just go for speaking engagements, but how many people are you going to meet? Because if you want to change the world, then you might as well change a pretty good number of the people in the world. Your socials are not going to reach everyone, definitely. They are not going to reach every single person on planet Earth. But let me tell you, just the idea of creating content, you never know who reads it, who gets to see it, and what exactly happens. So today, before we go into the pleasantries and before we go into the questions and answers, I just want us to be able to nail this particular thing about content and to be able to give us a pump and a push in the right direction to know that we are not alone, but again, there's a lot more that we can do. Now, I just want us to start with what kind of content are we talking about, okay? Because when you talk about content, there are so many forms of content, and we cannot go into content creation minus mentioning those particular things or those particular types of content, and then minus talking about why do we even have to create the content in the first place. Because when I was beginning in this arena, that is so many years, more than 10 years ago, I remember no one sat me down to tell me what to do with content, but I just got into the move. I just got into doing what I thought was right, and cultivating the relationships, attracting people to my socials, and engaging with people, creating. I just went out in a not even on a search, but I thought, like how you can a baby can just get up and walk, and it's just the normal thing to do. That is what I did. I just got up and walked because that I thought that was the normal thing to do. So social media has come. I'm on Facebook finally. So if Facebook asks me what is on my mind, definitely I should be able to share something. Okay, so if it's about something I read, if it's about something that someone told me about, or someone that I watched somewhere, it has to be something that touches me. And actually I began by doing things that touched me and things that I want. Remember, in this arena, we say we don't know, we don't necessarily do what we want. We do what, or we give the solutions, or we create solutions for other people. Okay, but definitely we all go through certain things. Now, when I was going through the roughest patch of my life, and I keep seeing the memories that Facebook gives me about my Facebook in 2009, 2010, 2011, and then all that material is the roughest patch of my life that I was going through. And if I was going through that, then someone else was going through that, because I remember I would post something and I will get more than 20, 30 people telling me, I'm going through this, and how have you been able to overcome? Now, these things, we are not just putting systems in place because they did not exist. The systems existed before. Okay, we always have strategies, we always have systems. The only thing we do is panel beat them and then make them very clear for the coming generation, or for us that are doing it right now, to know why are we exactly doing it, because we need an extra push to make sure that we actually do that. Okay, so why do we create content? We create content to grow our businesses. We create content to attract people, okay, to promote your brand, or the whatever brand it is, whether it's product based or it's just a personal brand. You create content to promote it, okay, and then you create content to build relationships with people. Can people relate with you? Can they and they know what you are going through? Can they relate with what you are actually putting up? Okay, we create relationships, we cultivate relationships with our content. Okay, and then content is very, very powerful because it adds value. And because if you go to people who make different things, let me say a list of the best habits, or the millionaire habits, morning habits, and then you're just creating value, you're giving back to people. You're not just telling them buy, or do this or do this, because we have those commands that we keep doing when we go on advancing in our careers, in our branding, in our, then we start being salesy. And if someone is salesy, I actually scroll through. No, I don't scroll through. I just pass by their content. Why? Because every time you're selling to me and I don't want to buy what you're selling to me, how about you give me something? How about you give me a bait? How about you attract me to you? How about you relate with me, cultivate my relationship? How about you throw me a humor somewhere so that I can laugh and I can always come back? How about you make sense in what you're saying? How about you clarify something for me? Okay, so there's more to content, and everything that you are doing is geared towards attracting, positioning your brand, and making sure that you actually either promote whatever it is, product based or just a brand, and making sure that you grow your business. Okay, but it's like a magnet, because then we cannot come to you if you have nothing to offer, and that is what we call content. Now, there are so many types of content. We have the video content, which is really getting famous. And if you really want to get a hold of this industry in entrepreneurship, product-based businesses, service-based businesses, you should be able to get into video. Okay, video is on vogue. It's trending and it's busting out, because you can create videos as short as 5 minutes, as short as 3 minutes. We don't have that much time. Okay, we are always on the move. So if you can create content, instead of me sitting down to read something, because then it requires my full attention, I can be able to watch a video on the go or listen to audio, and we'll talk about audio later. But when it comes to video, then we know that we have so many platforms where we can post our videos. We have TikTok, we have Snapchat, we have Instagram, we have actually most of the platforms allow or accept video content. Okay, so that means that you can YouTube, you have Pinterest. Yes, I've seen a few videos on Pinterest. So you know that most of them, all the platforms that are coming up right now are actually video oriented. Okay, so video content is one type, and then we have the podcast or the audio content. Okay, for the longest time I actually started with audio content, and so it became so easy for me to translate into video and to translate into even radio itself, because I used to go to a production studio somewhere, sit, and then just come prepared. I used to come prepared like to record like 10 episodes. I used to have those small episodes that used to run on Spirit FM. So I would come and record like 10 of them, and then the producer will go on and attach the intro and the outro. And of course, the intro had my name, had my numbers, had what I do, and that was branding in itself. Like it was a podcast, but on a radio station. So they would play them like thrice in a day. And let me tell you, I cannot tell you how much traffic I got through just radio. Radio is something that really overwhelms, and sometimes I just don't understand, because at some point I thought, maybe people stopped listening to radio. But let me tell you, I get surprised every time I'm on radio that actually not even thousands, millions of people are on radio listening. So if you ever get a chance to go on radio or go to just production, record, make sure that you use it wisely. These days we have phones that actually record. One of my podcasting platforms, I know for sure when I'm on my phone, it allows, on the iPhone, it allows for you to record using your phone. So that means you can throw in your thoughts, you can say anything at any time. You can record a blog post while you're in a taxi, while you're driving, while you're seated somewhere waiting for coffee or taking your coffee. You can do these things on the go. I think what technology has done is to simplify pretty much everything to be able to be within our reach. So that is podcasting. And when we talk about podcasting, then we are talking about Spotify, we are talking about there's what is that, Anchor, and then we have Google also came up, iTunes. We have so many platforms when it comes to podcasting. So make sure that you look them up. In the VIP tribe, we're going to talk about podcasting and starting our podcasts. So for those of you that are in the VIP tribe, just know that we are going to embark on that journey for a full week, just to create podcasts and then to start rolling out on our podcasts. Okay, and then when it comes to the other form of content that comes to mind is the articles or the written. Okay, and this can be on on YouTube, right? Accepts articles, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. There's so many platforms that actually accept written content. Okay, so you make sure that you write so many things. We're going to talk about what exactly to write, but make sure that you actually write. And what actually I forgot to say about podcasting is most times the best times that I listen to podcasts, even other people's podcasts, is when I'm either in the gym or I'm in my car driving, or I'm just in a place where I don't want to concentrate on anything. I don't want to look at anything, but I can be able to actually listen, and no one knows that I'm actually listening. Like today, I did that while I was in a certain restaurant. I was, I'd gone to take my coffee. I sat down. I had headphones, but no one would know, because if you have this kind of hair, then no one knows, because they're iPods. So I sat down and I began to listen while I was, typing my things and editing my stuff, my videos, my photos. So it's so easy, because then I'm not looking at my phone. People don't know what exactly I am actually doing. Okay, so look into that. The articles written, look into that, and then we have the final, which is the images on Instagram, on Pinterest, I think, and Facebook takes images, YouTube takes images. So most of the platforms actually take images, and these can come from I think people usually do the PDF bit that has lists of, like 7 of them, or people just do graphics, very good graphics, and they keep putting it up, and it's quite shareable, okay? Like quotes and a very nice picture, or so that is also a form of actually content that you can be able to do and be able to put out there, okay? So when you talk about the vlogs, when you talk about the tutorials, when you talk about the comedy, the humor, depending on your niche. So I want you to be able to depend and to base on your niche to make sure that you choose the content that is right for you, okay? There are those that are dealing in self-development. Most of us are actually dealing in self-development, yes. If you're in business, business or stroke entrepreneurship, if you are coaching, if you're consulting, if you're actually individual development, personal development and business, okay? So you make sure that you choose your particular niche and what exactly can be able to apply, and make sure that you go in depth and do the things that you need to do, okay? So let's go into how do we create this content, because I think it was the most prominent question that most of you actually gave me. How do you create content? Number one, the content we create has to be wholesome, okay? The content we create has to be wholesome. You cannot just handle one part. You cannot be the kind that is giving us stories and stories and stories and stories, and every time you're giving us stories. And you cannot be the kind who is giving us sales and sales and sales. You're promoting your book, you're promoting your services, you're promoting what you do, you're promoting every other time. You cannot be doing that and then you expect that actually people are going to be there and they are going to wait for what you have to offer to them, okay? So number one is to find what people are actually looking for. Look and find out what are people looking for. Do you know that if you go to Google and type in, for example, you've typed in a few things, maybe you want to find out either how to write a book or how to do this. There are those things that people actually Google and on frequently, okay? And you'll find that on a daily basis, there are millions of people that are searching that particular thing. That means that people are hungry to hear about that particular thing, okay? And this is both on YouTube. On YouTube, when you go on a person's channel, you can be able to know what is the most viewed, the highest viewed video. And that means that if it's the highest viewed, then the people or the audience has already decided that that is the kind of content they would want to relate with, or the kind of content they would want to engage with. So that means that if you take that kind of content and be able to tweak it and be able to personalize it and be able to come up with your own stories and be able to come up with your own pointers, then you can recreate a video in that same line that will be very easy to engage with and very lovable, okay? And that applies to Facebook, that applies to all social media platforms. So go look for what people actually like. You always go, and I said this when I was talking about social media strategy, and I said that go through this as you're scrolling through. Do not just scroll through for the sake of scrolling through looking for your friends. Make sure that when something catches your eye, look at it and take time and say, okay, why did it catch my attention? Is it because of the bright colors? Is it because of the too many likes? Because some of us, when you look at a post and then you look at like it's automatic. We go and look at the number of people, the number of likes and the number of comments, and then you're like, why does this person have 20k likes? And then you're like, let me read through, and then you read through. So it's either that person has built their brand and they're really, really known, because if you are known, then people cease to sometimes they like without reading your content. There are times I have posted something and within I think there's a particular time I posted something and within 10 minutes, I had 1k likes. And in my heart, I was like, did these people read what I posted? Or these people liked because they know Bahati puts out good content. So whatever she has put out is actually good. And so in my heart, I was like, did these people read this content before liking, or they just liked it? So it's very possible that some people can build, you can build a brand that is too huge, okay? That the attraction and the people relate with you, they engage with your content, they just love your content. It's unique, it's nice, it's crisp, it's precise, okay? And it's informative, it's educational. So when people like it, then they know whatever you are going to post is actually going to be relatable with, and sometimes they will just like it without even reading it, okay? But make sure that you look for what people like, and make sure that you go to to even Google. There's something that I think I went through that was called Google Keyword Planner. Google Keyword Planner. When you type in Google Keyword Planner, it will give you the most prominent words. And even when you're just Googling or you're just searching for something, because YouTube and Google are search engines. So when you search for something, it will give you results. But on your right hand, sometimes they will give you the words that relate to the word to the things that you're searching, and then how many people have been able to search that word that particular day. You'll be able to, if you're doing it on your laptop, you'll be able to see those things. Okay, so make sure that you go to those things. What are people asking about? What do people want to watch? Make sure that you actually go and look it up, and make sure that you do that. Some people can be asking about how to lose weight. Others, how do I break up with someone I don't love anymore? Others, how do you move on? Others, how do you cook? How do you fry an egg without oil? Others, I mean, they're weird questions, okay? But that's what people want to know. That is what people want to know. How do you have a clear skin? I think one of these days I'm going to just run tips of how to have a clear skin and how to make very simple makeup for business people like you and coaches and consultants. And why? Because then looking good is part of the package. You cannot just look hovyo and you expect that people are going to relate with you. That cannot happen, okay? So make sure that you create good content by looking at what people really want, and make sure that you go ahead and give them exactly what they want, because social media, you're using it to attract. Then when they come to you with their needs, then you are a coach who actually knows that your clients have the answers, and then yours is to facilitate and guide them, okay? Not to just give them or impose yourself on them and what your thoughts are, okay? So what content are people consuming in your niche? That is number two. What content are people consuming in your niche? Okay. If you're, let me say, a fashionista, if you are dealing with ECD or early church, children, if you're dealing with children, if you're dealing with what is any kind of business, okay? What are people consuming? Because then when you become a consumer of what people are consuming, then you are seeing what they like. For example, go on and follow people that are in your niche. Look for them and say, okay, who do I follow? Do I follow what? Les Brown? Do I follow Tracy? Do I follow Tony Robbins? Some of these people, for me, I failed to follow because their content does not resonate with me at all. Because if something does not touch me, I'm never going to say anything about it. Or if something does not cause me to think a lot more deeper, I feel like some of them say things that are quite, just on top, okay? But if that is your cup of tea, one man's meat is another man's poison, okay? So if there are people in your niche and you really love what they do, and people comment and people engage with their kind of content, what are the people actually consuming, so that you can go and be able to recreate? Now, do not plagiarize. Do not go and copy and paste. That is the worst thing you can do. If you want to copy and paste, at best give credit and say this is, don't say stolen. Stolen sounds like a really down, no, what would I say? A low-key kind of word. But you can say, you know what? You can just give credit and tag that person. So when that person reads and they find themselves down, like today, Facebook was giving me like the mentions, the people that have mentioned my names. And I found that, okay, like their posts, I had no business really appearing on people's walls. But again, there are those that were just giving me credit. Someone came to my wall and copied a whole article, and they went and reposted it on their page, and down they gave me credit and said Bahati Hilda. They just tagged me Bahati Hilda Sabiti. So in my heart I was like, so how many? Because I found one gentleman from Ghana who had a very huge following, and he had done the same. He had just copied and pasted, and then he gave me credit down. And so in my heart I was like, so how many? There's a time I saw so many Ghanaians like flowing, like it was a magnet, something pulling them to my page, and I didn't know what was up. But when I saw that, I was like, okay, this guy has a lot of following, and he gave me credit on my post. And I mean, I don't have a problem with that. I only have a problem someone copies and puts it on their page, and they never give me credit. But again, how will I ever know? Because now I have quite a huge following, so there is no way Facebook is going to sip through and give me every other thing that is happening on other people's walls. So those people came and followed me. Why? Because he gave me credit. So giving credit is a good thing, shows that you did not, it touched you, you liked it, and you wanted to reshare it with other people, but it did, you're not the author, and you gave credit where it was due. So what content are your people consuming? I want you to be able to wrap your head around that. Ask yourself the questions and go find those answers, because then your answer lies in those answers. What are your people consuming? The people that should be following you, what are they consuming? And then go ahead and look at it and make sure that you do. Make sure that you personalize, okay? Make sure that you change, make sure that you tweak it, make sure that you adjust it, make sure that you're not even repurposing it, but you think of your own, you paraphrase it, okay? And sometimes something can be so Western, and you just need to change it over so that it can fit into the African setting. So go ahead and actually doing it, okay? Because this social media content thing is like throwing spaghetti on the wall, and just what doesn't, and learn as you go. So there's nothing like perfection. There is nothing like perfection, and you don't need to be perfect when it comes to content. Actually, the biggest, or the most not the most prominent, but the most successful people at content are people just do random things, and then everyone will watch. Random as they are. Some of them don't even make sense, but there's a way we enjoy snooping into other people's lives and just looking at what they are doing. And someone will be there taking their coffee and even making loud noises, and then you will sit there for even 10 minutes, you'll be watching someone taking a cup of coffee, and it's like you have nothing to do. So the content people consume these days, people are really stressed, okay? So don't stress them more. People are really uptight, they have anxiety, they have panic attacks, so don't make them panic more, unless it's your area of expertise, okay? Or it's your niche and you need to do that. There's something I can outsource anything in my operation. I can from graphics, videography, as in I can outsource anything. The only thing I can never outsource is content creation, okay? That one is mine, okay? I tried at some point. I got an online PA. So when I got this online PA, I think I've mentioned it before, and then this person started posting, okay? But my friend, it was kavuyo, because they are not in alignment with what I do. They're not in alignment. They would even twist my names and call me Bahati Sabiti Hilda, and then after that just call me Bahati Hilda, and then after that because then I'd given them access to my page, and so they brought weird kind of crazy graphics. I actually, even the person that designed my graphics, I have to look through it, I have to accept, they have to redo it like 3 times for me to be able to post it. But this person I think they went to Canva and created something and just started putting on. And then I remember, this is what I did. I didn't wait for a month. I had paid her for the month. I didn't wait for the month to be over. I just went and took away the rights to my page from her, and then she came back and told me, oh, I wasn't around yesterday, but I came back, what, but now I cannot access the page, and yet I've created so much content. I was like, thank you very much, but I don't think we can actually work like that. My thing is totally different, so I'm taking back the content creation. And since then I was like, I can breathe. Why? Because I know how I write. The people that read my material know how I write. They know what Bahati can do and what Bahati cannot do. Because I remember one time even Tim told me, but that thing you put on your page, I don't think it's just not you. And then I was like, because I'd not even told him that I got an online PA to do that for me. And then I was like, yeah, this is it. What I feared has happened, and now I just have to go back and take back the rights and just lose the money, which I was okay losing the money. Even if I had paid her how much money, I was okay losing the money. Why? Because then that money does not equate to my brand and how I've built it and how much work I have done, okay? So make sure that you own your content, own your content, own your promotions, own your stories, own everything that you actually put out there. Okay. And then there are things that we actually when you listen to the people, I discovered that after some time, people started sending me what they wanted me to talk about. So after some time, when people start trusting you, when people start having, I mean, when they start getting attracted to you and relating with your content and engaging with it, they will be sending you questions. So from those questions, you can actually create content. And so you see that content will be directed straight to them. Why? Because they asked you, and then one person represents a trillion others on this planet. So that means, or a zillion others on this planet. So that means that you're hitting the right spot, because then someone asked you that particular question, and then you are able to actually go ahead and do it. So make sure that you listen, and then to what people say. And then there is this trick that I started using some time back, even when sometimes I go on and off, about repurposing the content, that I will have a video, okay, because it's a long video, maybe it's a 20 minutes or 15 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever it is, but 10 minutes is long enough. So, or it can even be 6 minutes. So I create that video, and then that same content, I write a post for Facebook, and I will write a smaller post for Twitter, and I will write something more personal and cheesy on Instagram, and maybe I'll write something more corporate approach on LinkedIn. Like, I am using the same kind of material. Let me say I'm talking about how to boost your sales, or I'm talking about narcissistic relationships, or I'm talking about child abuse, or whatever it is I'm talking about. Then I get one piece of content, the video that rolls out, and then I'm able to even create reels out of it. I'm able to create stories out of it. I'm able to create to write a post on Facebook, to write a smaller post on Twitter, to write a cheesy post on Instagram, and to write a corporate post. But I am using the same material. Now that works really, really, really perfectly well, because then you don't want social media or content creation to consume the rest of your day. You don't want that. You want something that you can do quickly. And that is where I would say this. I usually have a book that I call Idea Bank. So what happens is, everything that I think about, or we are in a meeting somewhere and someone mentions something, and I'm like, I should write something about that. I put it down. So that means I don't run out of ideas. I can always, and let me tell you, in my notebook on my phone, it is filled, and I will even mark it accordingly. Now I have where I mark 2 dots, the green ones, and that is really, really important. So that means it cannot wait. So the day I go back and I go back through those thoughts and come up with a post, I make sure that I delete, so that I do not repost it again some other time. But I can't, because then I read through everything that I have to post. So I have the idea bank. Number one, my bank is on my phone, and when I'm at home, it's actually in a notebook. So that means I can never run out of ideas. I always remember there is something I want to write about, there's something I wanted to make a video about, there's something I wanted to research about, there's something. So I dump all my ideas in those books or in those notes, and make sure that I have something to actually work with. Okay. And when it comes to repurposing, make sure that you do you do the write-ups, okay? And they suit different. If you're trying to take it on like I took it on, make sure that they suit the different platforms that they are going to, and make sure that you actually, when it comes to video content, maybe you will need someone to cut it down, or if you know how to cut it down on your laptop or on your phone, these days things have actually been made easy. So make sure that you go ahead and actually do it, okay? And then give yourself shorter deadlines. I found that whenever you give whatever time you give yourself is the time that you take to actually do it. So these days when I wake up and I'm like, you know what, I need to create this content, and I only have 10 minutes or I only have 15 minutes. So what I do is I sit down and quickly put down the most important things that I need to do, and then build on that. And before you know it, I'm like, you know what, in 15 minutes I have to put my phone down, or in 20 minutes I need to put my phone down. Apart apart from the times where it's quite sluggish, when you have some time on you, and then you have this long story, and sometimes I write long posts, or sometimes I actually write more long posts when we are driving back home, especially when Tim is driving and maybe I'm just seated. I do a lot of writing because he does the same. When I'm driving, he does a lot of writing. So most of the times he will tell me that, you know what, when he goes quiet, I'll just ask him, are you writing something? And he'll be like, yeah, I'm writing something. And indeed, before we reach home, he has already posted it, and it's an amazing post. Sometimes we usually put our phones aside when we go to restaurants, either for a date night, even if it's not a date night, because I don't know what a date night is, because I think literally every day sometimes I eat out. He's the kind who he eats at home. So he knows he takes care of me, and when he get home, I take care of him. So what happens is you can say, okay, just 20 minutes on our phones. And that's me most likely when I have something that is really burning that I need to write. And then I'll be like, 20 minutes, and he'll be like, okay, 20 minutes. So he dives in his phone, I dive in my phone, I write whatever I need to write, I dump my ideas that I need to dump, and then we're like, 20 minutes are done. We put away the phones and then we start the conversation, or we go ahead and do whatever we needed to do. So give yourself a short time or short deadlines so that you can be actually able to do that. And then when you are doing content, make sure that you have the personal branding stories. For example, I usually like what Richard Branson does with the Virgin Airlines. Even for people that have not gone to, have not traveled with Virgin Airlines, they will relate with him. Why? Because he has the personal stories about mountain climbing, about the marathons, about where he went for a vacation, about people want to snoop, people want to know people's lives, okay? So it can be, or actually he gives so much stories of where the airline started from, how it was so hard and so bad, and where they have reached right now, and it's so inspiring, okay? So what is your brand story? Put it out there, and you can say that for Monday, it will be about my brand story, okay? And maybe for Wednesday, it can be shareable content. Shareable content, I said, we write quotes, we write, those very, not even articles, but mini phrases, okay? Graphics, quotes, you can be asking questions, for example, on Instagram, and people would be will be responding to you. And this can be both about your personal brand or your product-based brand, okay? So you decide which way you do it, but make sure that you have those shareables, because then there's your picture on it, and then there's a quote. And then when people share it, there's mileage that you get, because people can always trace back to your page. And it's so awesome when you actually try and do that. And then you can say that on a Friday, I will be doing the sales, okay? I'm going to be able to tell people what I'm selling, whether I'm selling accelerated mentorship program, whether I'm selling what interior designs, whether I'm whatever I'm selling, I sell on Friday, so that people know that you give them value on Monday, you give them value on Wednesday, or you give them, and content has to be every day. You don't even have to skip, because I told you the moment you skip, then you're going away from our top of mind awareness. Then we are like, wait, so and so I no longer see them, even if it's for 1 day or 2 days. So make sure that put it into our face, put your business into our faces, let us know exactly what you are doing, so we can be able to tap into you, learn from you. And let me tell you, you will be there, and you'll be inspiring so many people than you even know, okay? So make sure that you do that. I talked about listening to your audience, okay? Make sure that you listen to them, and make sure that you solve their problem. Listen to your audience. What are they saying? In your comments, what are they saying? In your inbox, what are they asking? Okay, and make sure that you use that as content, okay? And problem solve. I told us to write 50 problems were in our niche, and those problems were to actually help you with content writing. Because then, if you know poor decision making, if you know time management, if you know lack of responsibility, if you know lack of knowledge, as in all those things, then write something that solves one problem, okay? And you can dwell on it even for a week. You can write series about it, and people will love it, and they will actually relate with your content, okay? So The other thing is have a strategy, okay? A strategy really helps, and then plan ahead. Make sure that you know what you're going to. But sometimes I know. Sometimes I don't know, but sometimes I will know what I'm going to post on Wednesday. Sometimes I will know what I'm going to post on those good weeks. I know I plan ahead, but on those bad weeks, I don't know what I'm going to post. I wake up, but again, I have something on my mind, and I'm like, okay, I keep putting it off, but when the time comes, I actually do it. So make sure that you plan ahead and have a deadline, just like I said, and then keep an idea bank, just like I said, so that you can be able to dump everything that you need to dump in that idea bank, and then you can be able to go back to it and write it. But everything that we write, if there's anything that you should take from this, is there's no perfection in content creation, no perfection at all. You cannot say that, oh, I don't have the words. The moment you start doing it, the moment you start writing, the words will keep coming. Now, if you're not so sure about your grammar, about your spellings, then the written, and then you have a chance to decide. You can decide and say, for me, I am not so much into writing. For me, I am not so much into podcasting. Maybe I'm not so much into video. Video content should wait for now. Let me just go full strength on the written content. Decide. You cannot be good in everything. In as much as you will try to do everything, you can be the best in one. You can say, I nail it when it comes to videos, or you can say I nail it when it comes to writing, like our friend Philson, or you can say I actually nail it when it comes to podcasting. My voice without a picture, I am good with that, and I would love to do that. And then you can say, my friend, I am good at snapping pictures, Insta, bring it all. I am just good at that. And then you also go wholesale on that and utilize it to the best of your knowledge and do the best that you can. So I've said there's no perfect. Choose what really relates with you and what is so simple and what comes as a gift to you. Okay, make sure you listen to your audience. Make sure you repurpose your content. Make sure you are solving someone's problem. Give your ears. Listen to your audience. What are they saying? That particular parent when they met you, that particular teacher when they met you, that particular customer when they met you, what were they saying? To the extent that Namudu, if you want to create, you can create content for selling the tires, okay? And just, there's a lot of content. If you search on YouTube, you will be surprised at what content people are putting there. If you want a good tire, these are the qualities of a good tire, and this is what, let me tell you, everything is sellable, and everything is a business. Everything that is a business is actually sellable and marketable and content worth, okay? So make sure that you create content. But remember, you are solving a problem, you are educating, you are either selling, or you are positioning your brand, okay? So when you have those things and you plan ahead and you have a calendar and you know what to do, when to do it, then it's going to be so easy and so nice. Okay, so Namudu, you got that. That's what you said. Let me just briefly go through. Shoba, you're saying, Marriott, you're saying good evening here. And then Ainembabazi Catherine, I'm here. Faida, good to have you. Diana Rinda in class. Ninsima Fiona in class. Naira in class. Hi, super coach. My ears are so alert. That is Ruth. Hello. Nachimbugwe Patricia, good to have you. Harriet, good to have you. Enid Carol, finally here. Coaches Flavia, good to have you. And then Diana Rinda, Wade, I share that is interior designing tips. That is nice. And then Naira, you're saying point noted. In case you have a question, we have just a few moments to go, but I wanted us to really share about this content thing, because most of you really showed concern. You wake up and you're like, but what am I going to? When you ask yourself, what am I going to post? Think about a problem. Think about something you've ever gone through. Think about a victory in your life. Think about the process you went through to get to where you are. Think about how to educate someone. Think about how to make someone laugh. Go through social media. Subscribe to people, or like people, or follow people that are of substance and people that are in your niche, okay? But you can get clues or cues, because then you can know what's trending, what's not trending. You can know how do they do this. Is it building email? My mailing list? Is it about perfecting my videos? Is it about the course creation? Is it about what is trending? Because then you are following the people that are in your niche, and you're not following to plagiarize, but you are following to be able to get ideas and to be able to create better solutions for the people that are actually following you. Okay. Mubiru, thanks for the great work, coach, and thanks for being here. We are all brands, we are all businesses, and we all own businesses, and we will all own businesses. So social media is one thing you cannot run away from. Social media is your friend, and it's a very powerful tool. Content creation is the most powerful tool. And I said you can outsource everything, but when it comes to content, make sure that you do it yourself. How do you awaken my sleepy Facebook account? How do I awaken your Facebook your sleeping account? That is Ninsima Fiona. Okay, now the thing is, we have to go back to your niche, or what your purpose is. And let me tell you, you will know your purpose. You will know your purpose even before you discover your niche. I knew my purpose. I knew my calling even before I went into searching what my purpose was and what my passion was. Okay, because then it was the thing that was on top of my mind, on my tongue, when I type, when I write. Just like I say that when I get some of those memories of 13 years ago, and I see that material is actually even useful to this day, then I'm like, what was I thinking? Okay, I wasn't thinking. I was doing something that was coming from my heart. I was writing about relationships. I was writing about healthy relationships. I was writing about how to know that you're in a bad relationship. I was writing about, moving on, letting go, choosing yourself, being deliberately selfish. That is exactly what I was writing about. But that is how many years ago? So many years ago. So you'll find that there's something that your heart yearns for. You always want to talk to that girl child, or you want to talk to the youths, or you want to talk to the parents, or you want to talk to the children, or you generally want to talk to the corporate people. Okay, how to make the best life out of what they are doing, how to keep time, how to write. People talk about what CV writing. People talk about job transitioning. People talk about brainstorming about business ideas. There is a lot. So I want you to find your niche, and on the private group we actually have where we have all the sorts of coaches. Okay, the mindset coach, the confidence coach, the health coach, the life coach, that as in you can be a coach about anything. Okay, but again, you can be a business coach, you can be a coach about everything. You can be a fashion coach, exactly, that happens. You can be a child coach, that happens. Okay, so make sure that you find where you fall, and then make sure that you speak from your heart, and make sure that when you follow people that are within your niche, or people that inspire you, when they speak and that's something that touches you so much, not just like it has touched you, it can touch a zillion others. So what your job is to be able to personalize it, to change it, to write your personal story in the same line, and make sure that you share it with your people. So how you awaken it is start sharing content. Start tonight. Okay, and when you share that content, make sure you tag me so that I can be one of your cheerleaders in this thing. Okay, should I create a new page altogether? A page is advisable because then you are a brand. Okay, if you already have a profile, you can turn that profile into a page. You will still retain your profile, but you will have a page, and that page will have the likes or the following of the people that are already on your profile. That is the good thing about turning your profile into a page. Okay, so what you do is you start engaging a lot with your page. Let people know that you're actually engaging. Now, if more people were engaging with your profile, make sure that you share your page to your profile so that people know that you're going to be writing more engaging content on your Facebook page and not on your profile, because a profile, is a bit limited when it but a page, is really identifiable, and you can do a lot more with a page. Okay, so if you start a page and start posting, before you know it, you already have a following, and you're speaking from your heart, and you're just enjoying doing it, and you just don't feel like you are bothered at all, you will be in a good place. Should I only focus on social media platforms with many numbers? Should I only focus on social media platforms with many numbers? Okay, now I'm thinking you're asking about if you're following the kind of people that are doing the content that touches you, or the content that you would be doing to your people. Okay, I hope I got that right. But this is what happens. There are people that have so many people, and they are not necessarily writing things that are in line with your calling, with your purpose, with your passion. But there are people who have a moderate or average kind of following, but again, they are writing from their hearts. Okay, now those people are growing people, and you can actually see that they are becoming like a magnet, and they are pulling people's attention, and they are growing at a very fast rate. Now, the moment you go, just like you would go to YouTube and look out for the most watched videos and look at that content and say, okay, if I want to grow my YouTube channel, then I should be able to go and hit the algorithm. I should be able to get the numbers. I should be able to see what other people are actually doing in my niche and be able to incorporate that into what I'm doing. Not copy and paste, but do a research of my own and come up with my own kind of videos. And then before you know it, you have taken off. So after some time, you can go back into, as in you looking for your own kind of content, but after you have taken off, okay, after you have propelled yourself and more people know you, because then you already have a willing audience that is waiting to like anything that you bring in onto them. But when you're new, you need to be able to push yourself further. So it's not just about people platforms that have so many so much following. No, it's about people that are giving good content, and you know good content when you see it. Okay, and then you're saying, like, if I have a bigger following on WhatsApp than Facebook, then should I concentrate on putting content on WhatsApp than Facebook? Now, what you do is you actually do use the bigger platform, because then WhatsApp is one-on-one, okay? And yes, it has the groups, and it has, but sometimes the groups are ignorable. Like, I don't know how many groups people put me in and I just exit, or some of them I'm just in Kamoli, I'm not doing anything, and sometimes maybe some people are not interested. Like, you see, you're not giving people an option, you're just splashing. If you're putting it on your let me say status, that is a good thing, because then anyone that likes can actually pick up on it and come back to your inbox. Now, because you have a huge following, can you be able to also advertise other platforms on there? You can say, for more, follow me on Instagram. You can see even people who are really prominent telling people on Facebook, say, if for more information, follow me on Instagram, or on WhatsApp, for more information, follow me on this platform. Okay, even people putting their WhatsApps on Facebook and say, for more, please get it, connect with me directly in my WhatsApp, and then they will put their number, or they will put a link. So make sure that you enter connect or inter or cross promote, okay, on those platforms. But make sure that if your strength is on is on WhatsApp, you give it your whole. Even when you cross promote, make sure that you give it your whole, and then repurpose that content and make sure that you put it everywhere, so that the world knows what you are doing. And then when they have to come to you, they know what exactly they get when they come to you. So it's very good to know where your strength is and get a hold of it, but while not leaving all the other platforms, because it's very possible that few people are going to see you. I mean, your people, your circles, your friends, and what they're going to see you on WhatsApp, but maybe they are not going to, they will not be able to see you on social media or Facebook. So you make sure that even when you have no people liking or doing anything, people are actually watching. So go ahead and actually repurpose that content and put it on all the other social media platforms, just for visibility. And is it a must when you're posting your content to have a post pic? No, it's not a must actually, but this is what happens. The human brain, how we are created is we get attracted so quickly when someone puts an image, okay? So when someone puts an image, some of them will not even read the content attached to it. They will just like the image. They will just like because they like the image, or it's funny, or it's nice, or it's beautiful, okay? So that is why most people end up using the pictures. And I actually found out more pictures, relaxed pictures, natural pictures, normal pictures are liked more than the graphics, okay? So also look into that. Sometimes we overwhelm people with a lot of graphics, with a lot of wording, with a lot of, it's over crowded, and even Facebook does not deal with that. You can't even promote it when it's overcrowded. So make sure that you do very beautiful, precise, and elegant kind of productions or graphics. And when you're taking pictures, make sure it's the authentic you in your moment, in your vibe, and show people that this is who you are. People want people who are authentic. They relate with people who are normal, who are just not on a pedestal somewhere, who are perfect. No one of us is perfect. All of us are flawed in some way or another. But people love to hear it from you that you don't have it all together, because no one has it all together. That we cry sometimes, that we throw in a towel sometimes. That so when the moment you are vulnerable, then they love people who are vulnerable. They love people who are human. Then they know they are not alone, and they can come to you and come to you often and often and often. That means that you are strong, and you can use your story to actually inspire and motivate other people. Okay, so it's not a must to post a picture. You can post just content, but the attraction will be a little bit lower than when you post a picture. Okay, and then the reason as to why I even started using pictures, I didn't know that pictures do anything. But one thing I knew is these people must know who Bahati is, what I look like. They just read the name and they don't know what the name is. That was my intention in the first place. I didn't know I was even creating a brand, poor me. I just thought I was just doing what a normal girl does because they have a phone and apparently it has social media. But I knew after some time, I looked back and I was like, all along, I was actually creating a brand and ingraining it in people's minds and creating an attraction, and I just didn't know, okay? And I just became more intentional in doing that, okay? So don't beat yourself up. No one is perfect, but do the best that you can. Okay. We're about to get out of here. If you have one more last question, this is your time. We only have like one minute. For those of you that asked about content creation, I hope that you are able to be here with us. For those of you that are live, kudos. For those of you that are just coming back to rewatch, make sure that you indicate replay so that I know that you're just coming back to rewatch this. I'm following your progress, and I want you to be I want you to be a prominent, not even just prominent, a significant person. I want this to be a beyond success, a path to significance, because then after success, then what? Okay, after success, then the significance, the satisfaction that you have done something, that you have helped humanity, that you have given back, that you have spoken back, that you did the best that you could. Okay, that brings a lot of satisfaction and significance. Okay, Coach, thanks for the picture. You're right. People like our pictures more than plain statuses and statements without pictures. Exactly. That's what happens. And so, people like to put a face to the voice or the face to the article that they are reading and just know, oh, this is the guy. Okay, and people just love to know what's happening in other people's lives. Okay, how do they look like? What do they dress like? What do they like? Do they like just smiling and having coffees randomly? And people are snooping and wanting to peep into your life. Okay, so give them something, but give them something authentic, and give them something worth looking at, and give them something with a bait of knowledge and information, or you're selling whatever you're selling, but make sure that you push it out. Push. Social media and content creation is about pushing. Okay, sometimes you have to get out of your comfort zone in order to create epic content. You have to concentrate, you have to isolate. Sometimes you cannot just write when everything is noisy around you. So make sure that you know yourself and do what you need to do best. Okay, and then there's people who craft words and you read them once and you're like, wow, where did this person get it from? It takes practice. Okay, so next time you see such a thing, you look at it, you say, okay, next time I write something, it will be in this line. Some of us don't know how to write short things. Some of us just write long things. Like me, I write long things. Thank God the people that I write it for actually like it. And I'm like, okay, if it helps one person on earth, then that is enough for me. I'm not looking to change the whole world, because I cannot change the whole world. I can only change one person at a time, okay? And that is why we have this accelerated mentorship program where we can be able to light ourselves up and just go into the world and change the world. And soon I'll be sharing some good news. I'm partnering with John Maxwell, the leadership guru. We all know him, and he's a friend of mine. And so we're bringing this program to Kampala. It's going to be a leadership kind of course, okay, a roundtable kind of talk. I'll be talking about more about it, but it's a good thing because the people that I'm dealing with in the mentorship, I want to start with you. So I'll be giving you the details as we go ahead. I love you, and from me to you is a good night.